international news. Every day, Yahweh keeps our name in the news. But we, the sons and daughters of Yahweh, the children of Israel, they try to pretend we do not exist. But we understand why. Nevertheless, we shall continue to blow the trumpet. I shall continue to blow the trumpet, and you shall continue to blow the trumpet. To our people, giving them warning about what is to transpire. Yahweh gave us the memorial of trumpets, popularly called the Feast of Trumpets today. The Feast of Trumpets is the fourth festival of the seven. We have seven festivals, and the Feast of Trumpets is the fourth festival. And ironically, it comes on the first day of the seventh month of our sacred solar calendar. Maybe it's a coincidence that it comes on the seventh month. I doubt it. As we know, the number 4 is popularly known as a foundation number. And I'm only going to get into half of my subject matter, but it's very important for us to know that the Feast of Trumpets is the fourth festival. Comes on the first day of the seventh month of our sacred holy calendar. That means that we are either ahead or behind the world. We're leading the world. Because the false Jew will be celebrating Feast of Trumpets when? 2 months from now? In October. Considerably later than we. Praise Yahweh. Feast of Trumpets is a festival. It's something very important. So important that Yahweh decreed it one of the 7 festivals of perfection to direct our minds upon some special event. And of all the years that I have taught you about the Feast of Trumpets, I'm going to give you completely new knowledge tonight. Not until I speak to you in a moment will you know the purpose of the Feast of Trumpets. Up until now, we have basically just celebrated the Feast of Trumpets. We celebrated it because Yahweh said celebrate it. And we didn't have too much of a reason to celebrate it other than the fact he said celebrate it. Yahweh said it, so it's written, and that's it. We do it. Praise Yahweh. But that's not good enough, according to Psalm 47:7. That's not good enough. It's not good enough to just do it because Yahweh said do it. We must do it because he said do it. That is true. But to do it only because he said do it, that's not good enough. Verse 7, read.
For Yahweh is the King of all the earth. Sing ye praises with understanding.
Up until now, we have not had that deep understanding as to why there is a festival known as Feast of Trumpets, a memorial blowing of trumpets. Why such a festival? Well, let me answer that question for you quickly. The memorial blowing of trumpets pitches to us The return of Yahweh, the Son Yahweh. Pictures the return of the Son Yahweh. How? Return to the earth in supreme power to rule all nations. Not just my coming, but the trumpets must be blown, signaling the fact that I'm coming with supreme power. Not just power, but supreme power. Not just to rule in Israel, but to rule all nations on the earth. Because right here in Psalm 47, Yahweh is king over all the earth. Verse 3, let's read.
He shall subdue the people under us, and the nations under our feet.
Praise Yahweh. Verse 2, read.
For the Lord Yahweh Most High is terrible. He is a great king over all the earth.
Not some of the earth. So the Feast of Trumpets, the blowing, memorial blowing of trumpets, is all about this announcement. Yes, you white people have been ruling the earth, but we're here blowing the trumpet of truth and reality that your rulership is finished. You have no choice now but to shake and tremble under James 2:19. You have no choice. All you nations of the earth, you must now mourn my coming. All you tribes of the earth. Matthew 24:30. It's your time to mourn now. Because we blowing the trumpet. Read.
And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn. And they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory.
See, first, there's going to have to be a sign that appears in heaven, on earth, in other words. In our kindergarten thinking, we have been trained to look up. And there's no such thing as up, it's only out from the planet Earth. There is no such thing as up. It is only out from the planet Earth. You see, up in China is down in America. Out in America is down to the Chinese. Because the earth is a sphere, circular, and therefore there could be no up unless it was flat and nothing beneath it. So it is only out. And this is not about anything out there. This is about everything here on earth. So there's a sign that must appear on earth. So the memorial blowing of trumpets has always been about my coming to you and my return to this earth. To get done what they lied and said got done 1900 years ago. It didn't happen then. That's why I had to return. If it happened then, I wouldn't have to return. It would already be. So since it's not, here I am. Praise God. Now, you can't get spirit on me here because it said there would be a sign in heaven of the Son of Man. You have to give up the spirit and deal with the Son of Man. Praise God. If you think I'm spirit, come and touch me. Praise Yahweh. Now, we're in solar time, Don't question me about why we're in solar time and how we're in solar time. You go to Romans 1:25 and read who changed the truth of Yahweh into a lie. And then go to Daniel 7:25 and ask the question about the lying devils who thought to change the laws of Yahweh in the times and the seasons. And then go and ask them, why do you go against the Bible and what Yahweh decreed as the ruler of day and change it from the sun to the moon? And when you trace this down, you find out that it is the white people who changed the truth into a lie. So don't question me when I take you back to Genesis 1 and 5 and prove what the ruler of the day is. Read.
And Yahweh called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day.
Now you see, he established how you know what a day is. Darkness and light constitutes a day. All right, now I want the verse where Yahweh said, verse 16, and Yahweh made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the moon, the lesser light, to rule the night. He made the stars also. Yahweh made the stars also. So now Yahweh didn't make the moon to rule no calendar. So you have to go and ask the white people, why are the calendars of the day moon calendars, lunar calendars, when Yahweh didn't make the moon ruler over the day? He made the sun, which is the solar calendar, ruler over the day. So the son of the heaven is the ruler of the day, and I'm the son, ruler of the day. So don't ask me a question, ask the liar, John 8:44, father of lies, why he changed. I can prove to the day that we are worshiping the seventh day, not Saturday. We worship the seventh day. Every day of the week gets its turn. So only Yahweh's truth remains standing tall as I teach it to you. And the devil and his lies remain condemned according to the word. And the way that we know I have to be on the right day is, Yahweh said, this is a sign between you and me. Exodus what? 31. Speak thou also unto the children of Israel, saying, verily my Sabbath you shall keep, for it is a sign between me and you throughout your generations, that you may know that I am the Lord Yahweh that doth sanctify you. Huh? Then he goes on through here to tell us he will bless us. We bless more now than ever. Must be doing the right thing. I must be on key. One thing we know, the solar day is ruling. Always has, but the devil sought to change the time and the seasons. Why? So you and I would be cut off. Hallelujah, Yahweh. Be looking at the wrong sun. The memorial blowing of trumpets signifying the return of the sun, Yahweh. Up to now, up to this very minute, the very few called by Yahweh have had to overcome Satan and Satan's world. You've had to overcome Satan and Satan's world. And that's a very difficult job for some of our people to do. Praise Yahweh. Very difficult for some of our people to do. Overcome Satan and Satan's world. His world. Praise Yahweh. So this has been our problem. We have had to overcome Satan and his world. Materialism is something that has been put into us from a child. Santa Claus was all about materialism. Thanksgiving, all about materialism. Back to school, all about materialism. Labor Day, all about materialism. Picnic, materialism. Food, 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 food. We do nutty things for food because we've been programmed. But fasting is good for us. It gives you time to think about Yahweh. Do I want to serve Yahweh or do I want to serve my belly? Is my belly going to be my God? Where? Philippians. All right, read.
Whose end is destruction, whose God is their belly, and whose glory is in their shame, who mind earthly things.
Who mind? See, when your belly is your God, then your mind is on earthly things. I said, when your belly is your God, then your mind is filled with earthly things. What you want to say? Yahweh's alive? And you whom your belly is your God, your end is destruction. Those that drink alcohol tend to be drunk and gluttonous bellies. Both of you are going to be killed. Deuteronomy 21, 18, and 19 tells you about that. The gluttonous and drunkard. If you love that, you still are going to be killed, rocked to death. So in Philippians 3:19, if God is your belly is your God, then shame shall be your glory. Your glory shall be shame. So when you be fat, it's a sign that you better get your belly under control. And you that are skinny and trying to get fat through your God belly, your end is destruction. It's rough overcoming Satan's world. You watch television, the devil advertises food every few minutes. Eat something, eat anything. The way they show TV, they'll make you eat the woman on the commercial because she's always on there. In every conceivable condition. Difficult to overcome Satan and his world. And yet, those of us that are coming to Yahweh right now, that's our difficulty. We are the special breed. To attain salvation is much harder for us in the now. That's why you see those that come in and they go out. See, it's very difficult to let the cares of this world alone. Now, if it seems evil unto you to serve Yahweh, then you choose this day. Choose you this day whom you will serve. Do what you want to do. But as for me and my house of believers, we will serve the Lord Yahweh. So I can say with safety that up until now, the very few called by Yahweh have had to overcome Satan and Satan's world. And to attain salvation right now is much harder than it will be for the overwhelming majority of our people yet to be called as the judgment of white rulership heats up. The overwhelming majority of our people that are yet to come are not going to have the problem of overcoming Satan's world that we have. Because see, we are that first fruit. We're a special group called out of this world. Well, how are we special? Means that if we overcome Satan and his world, we shall rule with Yahweh, the Son Yahweh. That's the reward. You will rule with me if you overcome now. To come now and go back out there, you think I'm going to put you over something? Oh, no. Many whom you know that went out may come back. But see, they had that chance. As I am giving you your chance. As foolish as you are, nevertheless, I give you a chance to learn how to not be a sluggard, study the ant, and not need a ruler, a guide, or an overseer. I'm giving you the opportunity to come and learn how to be a ruler, a guide, and an overseer. And you will be a ruler, guide, and overseer over those who came and left. And those who are yet to come will be over them. Because they're the last and they shall be first. But if you can endure it, stick it out. Then you'll rule with me. I'm blowing the trumpet, so I must be able to blow it. You heard me blow it, so I must be able to blow it. Proof that when you are called, you know who I am. See, many are called. You just better be glad you one of the few that's chosen. Praise Yahweh. Oh yes, you may not be perfect, but you're still chosen. Praise Yahweh. And if you're not straight, I suggest you straighten up. And if you've been stealing, steal no more. If your conversation has been weak, hang around strong Hebrews. Let your conversation be holy. Praise Yahweh. So if you want to rule, you have a chance, even if you're a fool, to learn how to rule. Praise Yahweh. Whatever is going on, Yahweh chose you at this time to be the first of the resurrection. Glory to Yahweh. So your job is tougher than some of the ones coming in. You have to keep on keeping on. When some give up, you refuse to give out. Praise Yahweh. You know, Yahweh said, I don't care if it's your husband or your wife, your brother or your sister, mother or your father. Yahweh said, there will be two in the field working. One will be taken, one will be left. You better be glad you're the one being taken and not left. Praise Yahweh. When you look at one going out, or two or three or four, always some go out before every feast. Always. But it would bless you to be able to say, I didn't come this far to turn around. Praise Yahweh. However long you've been here, it doesn't seem long. Not to a believer. It's only long and hard to a disbeliever. Those are the ones say it's hard to be a Hebrew. It's not hard to be a Hebrew. It's easy to believe in Yahweh. Yahweh's laws are perfect. That's easy to understand. There's nothing hard about that. It's a joy to be with Yahweh. Praise Yahweh. So you hear somebody talking about it's hard being a Hebrew, you run from that person. You go find you a Hebrew that tells you serving Yahweh is a joy. I love Yahweh. I'm in love with Yahweh. What can I do for Yahweh? That's who to hang with. Praise Yahweh. Since birds of a feather flock together, you make sure you don't hang with the wrong bird. Hang out with the bird that loves to fly in Yahweh. You don't hang with the wrong bird. Hang out with the bird that loves to fly in Yahweh. Praise Yahweh. Don't come here and let your mind be swayed or persuaded or colored by people who have on long garments and saying shalom. As I talk, it's not about the people in the temple, it's all about Yahweh. Praise Yahweh. See, Yahweh is perfect, and Yahweh's laws are perfect. So if you want to be perfect, get into Yahweh and his laws and later for a nigga. Praise Yahweh. Nobody knows better than you who is weak. So if you want to be strong, leave the weak alone. If you want to be strong in Yahweh, leave the weak in Yahweh alone. You know who's weak. You want to be strong, leave the weak in Yahweh alone. That's all. It's no big deal. Y'all think I'm finna get off into that? I'm into the memorial of blowing of the trumpets. But I'm trumpeting a warning to you. How to overcome Satan and his world. Don't listen to people who love Satan. Don't worry about who's running from working for Yahweh. You serve Yahweh. See, I don't care how many of you don't want to serve Yahweh. I serve Yahweh. Praise Yahweh. I'm prophesying to you, the dry bone. As our great, good, and terrible black God Yahweh commands me, and the breath of nationhood and rulership shall enter you. And you shall live as a free and independent people. And you shall stand up with the knowledge of Yahweh, an exceedingly great army. Then Yahweh said to me, Son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel. That's Ezekiel 37:10 through 12, in case you don't know where it is. All of you should know where I'm coming from. You thought I'm making this up? Ezekiel 37:10 through 12 is where I'm coming from. Then Yahweh said unto me, Son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel. Behold, they say, Our bones are dried and our hope is lost. We're cut off for our parts. Therefore prophesy and preach and teach them and say unto the so-called blacks of America, thus saith the Lord God Yahweh. Behold, O my people, I will open your graves of mental death and cause you to come up out of your graves of mental death. And I want to do something special with you. I'm not on an ego trip just to raise you up, but I have a job to do of bringing you into the land Israel. It's all about going home. It's not about the white man treating us good or right in this country. It's about leaving here no matter how he treats us. Not that much good treatment in the world that I'm going to stay here. I'm here to bring you into the land Israel, the promised land. And after I do all of this, you can read verses 13 and 14. You shall know that I am Yahweh. How? When I have opened up your graves of ignorance, O my people, and brought you up out of your graves of ignorance, and I shall put my spirit in you. My spirit. So you got to have my spirit. You can't go home with me in your spirit. No. See, your spirit is contrary. You have a whole contrite spirit, contrary spirit, moody spirit, up and down spirit, mean spirits, non-speaking spirits. You have those old jealous spirits, old covetous spirit, old envy spirit. Oh, no. We can't go home like that. So, just to kill it, I'm going to put my spirit in you. And you have to be able to accept my spirit. And then when my spirit enters you, then I know you. I know you are mine then. When I see my spirit operating in you, I know you are mine. Praise Yahweh. What do you mean I don't know you? How do I know my sheep? My spirit is in you. I have to know you then because I know my spirit. I know my spirit. How can you fool me when I know my spirit? My spirit is within me and I take it and put it in you. So I got to know you when my spirit is in you. Whether you mine or not. Praise Yahweh. You see, my spirit loves Yahweh. And if you belong to me and my spirit is in you, then you love Yahweh. My spirit is in love with Yahweh. And if you're mine, then you're in love with Yahweh. My spirit loves to serve Yahweh day and night. You don't have to look for me to serve Yahweh. That's my spirit. My spirit wakes up serving Yahweh. My spirit goes to bed serving Yahweh. In my sleep, I serve Yahweh. That's my spirit. Praise Yahweh. My spirit is honest in Yahweh. So when my spirit enters you, you won't steal no more. Long as you're stealing from Yahweh, my spirit is not in you. You know the name Yahweh, but the devil knows the name Yahweh too. Praise Yahweh. The devil has enough sense to tremble. You don't have enough sense to fear Yahweh and tremble at your evil and wickedness in the presence of Yahweh. You need my spirit in you. You need to pray and fast and ask Yahweh, oh Yahweh, let your Spirit, enter into me. Oh, I'm blowing the trumpet. Praise Yahweh. In Ezekiel 37:13 through 14, it lets you know that there are those of you that just don't know I'm Yahweh. But I read here where you shall know that I am Yahweh. You may not know that I'm Yahweh yet, but you shall know it. When? When I open up your grave. And when I put my spirit in you, you shall live as a wide awake people, then I shall place you in your own land. Then shall you know again. Then shall you know that I, Yahweh, have spoken it and performed it, said Yahweh. So you need to know all of that. It's right there, Ezekiel 37, 13 and 14. The Feast of Trumpets, being the fourth festival, indicates laying the foundation of Yahweh's kingdom. At this point in time, we're laying the foundation of Yahweh's kingdom. Defeating the great army of so-called blacks in America, we are the foundation of the kingdom of Yahweh. We that are here now, we're the beginning. And you that have my spirit in you will work just as hard as I work to carry the message of salvation to our people. It's not a pain, you look forward to it. Because you thank Yahweh for me not giving up on you. You thank Yahweh for my being merciful with you. So you want to go and show when my spirit is you, you want to take the same spirit out to my people. We're hidden under many symbols and parables in the Bible. For example, we are the parable of the lost son. Let's go to Luke 15. We are the parable of the lost son. Luke 15, starting at verse 11. Read.
And he said, a certain man had 2 sons, and the younger of them said to his father, Father, give me the portion of goods that falleth to me. And he divided unto them his living. And not many days after, the younger son gathered all together and took his journey into a far country.
Where is that far country? Here in America. Read on.
And there wasted his substance with riotous living. And when he had spent all, there arose a mighty famine in that land, and he began to be in want.
Now this fulfills John 16:13, showing you things to come. Read on.
And he went and joined himself to a citizen of that country, and he sent him into his fields to feed swine.
Now that lets us know that we are being sent to feed with the fat swine. That's what's getting ready to happen. We're going to be sent to feed as swine. With swine. Not necessarily in the pig field, but to be let out as if we were a pig. That's all they're going to give our people. You just be out. A pig roots and eats garbage. Okay, read on.
And he would fain have filled his belly with the husks that the swine did eat.
So he's going to eat just like the pig ate. He's willing to eat just like a pig. Garbage. Read on.
And no man gave unto him.
Rough. That's the time of Jacob's trouble for real. That's coming down the line, isn't it? Read on.
And when he came to himself, he said, how many hired servants of my father's have bread enough and to spare, and I perish with hunger?
So my brothers and sisters are going to have to be made hungry before they'll come to themselves and remember their Father, Yahweh. So we are right on time going through the land this summer, teaching our people Yahweh is the name of your God. You know,
I will arise and go to my father, and will say unto him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and before thee, and am no more worthy to be called thy son. Make me as one of thy hired servants. And he arose and came to his father. But when he was yet a great way off, his father saw him and had compassion.
Praise Yahweh. See, we're yet a far way off. Read on.
And ran and fell on his neck and kissed him. And the son said unto him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and in thy sight, and am no more worthy to be called thy son. But the father said to his servants, Bring forth the best robe, and put it on him, and put a ring on his hand, and shoes on his feet, and bring hither the fatted calf, and kill it, and let us eat and be merry.
Look what's coming to us. Just what we want. Food. But first we're going to have to be made hungry. But what we love most is coming to us. Barbecue. Fat calves. Read on.
For this my son was dead, and is alive again. He was lost, and is found. And they began to be merry.
Praise Yahweh. It is clear that we have been lost. Lost from the knowledge of Yahweh, but is now found. Lost from Yahweh means we have been ruined as a people. In Yahweh, we were raised high. In Yahweh, we were raised high. Deuteronomy 7:6. Read.
For thou art an holy people unto the Lord Yahweh thy God. The Lord Yahweh thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
1 Kings 9:8. Read.
And at this house, which is high, everyone that passeth by it shall be astonished, and shall hiss. And they shall say, Why hath the Lord Yahweh done thus unto this land, and to this house?
Read on. 9.
And they shall answer, Because they forsook the Lord Yahweh their God, who brought forth their fathers out of the land of Egypt, and have taken hold upon other gods, and have worshipped them, and served them. Therefore hath the Lord Yahweh brought upon them all this evil.
Praise Yahweh. Now it's rather clear that in Yahweh we were raised high, but now we are fallen. Our forefathers left Yahweh's law. Malachi 3:7. Our forefathers left Yahweh's law. Read.
Even from the days of your fathers, ye are gone away from mine ordinances, and have not kept them. Return unto me, and I will return unto you.
Praise Yahweh. You see, our fathers left Yahweh's laws, and thus we have rebelled against Yahweh until this very day. Ezekiel 2:3. Read.
And he said unto me, Son of man, I send thee to the children of Israel, to a rebellious nation that hath rebelled against me. They and their fathers have transgressed against me, even unto this very day.
Praise Yahweh. So that's why we are lost. Now we think about being lost as simply not knowing the way home. But lost means a great deal more than that. We are the remains of a fallen city, Jerusalem. We are the remains of a fallen city, Jerusalem. Isaiah 3:8-12. Read.
For Jerusalem is ruined,
I told you. Read on.
and Judah is fallen,
I told you we are fallen. Read on.
because their tongue and their doings are against the Lord Yahweh, to provoke the eyes of his glory.
That means to provoke him to anger. See why we are fallen? See why our city is ruined? Why Judah is fallen? Who is Judah? What did Yahweh choose Judah to do? How long? Yahweh chose who? To be what? But yet you are fallen. Why? Because your tongue, because your tongue, because your tongue, because your tongue, because your tongue and your doings are against Yahweh to provoke him to anger. Read on.
The show of their countenance doth witness against them.
See, the way your face looks, you be trying to fool somebody that you're in love with Yahweh. You be trying to grin when nothing is funny. But your countenance, the way your face looks, is a witness against you. How can you walk around with a phony smile on your face and think your face is not a witness against you? Read on.
And they declare their sin as Sodom. They hide it not. Woe unto their soul, for they have rewarded evil unto themselves.
You did it. Read on.
Say ye to the righteous, that it shall be well with him, for they shall eat the fruit of their doing.
See why it's important don't listen to nobody wicked? See, the wicked, they're going to get their reward. You stay righteous. Because, see, you're going to get your reward. Verse 11, read.
Woe unto the wicked.
Here you come if you love wickedness. Read on.
It shall be ill with him, for the reward of his hands shall be given him.
Read on.
As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err, and destroy the way of thy path.
Oh. man running for president among you saying he believes in gay rights. He tells the world he believes in abominations. No wonder we are fallen. We are a nation destroyed. Hosea 4:6. We are a nation destroyed. Why? Read.
My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God Yahweh, I will also forget thy children.
We are a forgotten children as a people here in the hills of North America because we reject Yahweh. When we reject Yahweh, he rejects us. Now, see, we don't understand what all that means, but I'm going to teach you what it means tonight. I'm blowing the trumpet. Praise Yahweh. I am blowing the trumpet of warning for all of us. Not a trumpet, the trumpet. This is a memorial blowing of the trumpets. Something we should keep in our memory. Never forget it. Something we should keep in our memory. We are a rejected people. And because we reject the knowledge of Yahweh, we now sit in captivity. Isaiah 5:13. Not making this up, children. Read.
Therefore, my people are gone into captivity, because they have no knowledge. And their honorable men are famished, and their multitude dried up with thirst.
In Hosea 4:6, Yahweh says we are destroyed. That means we are in a state of being destitute. I made a heavy statement and you just look so comfortable. Yahweh said we are destroyed for the lack of knowledge, therefore we are destitute. That means that we are without our own of anything. Because we reject Yahweh. Because we reject the knowledge of Yahweh, we are in a state of being destitute and without our own of anything. We're not in possession of our land, therefore we are subject to the wicked, unjust laws of another people. Does that leave you happy? We are in a state of want for all things in America as a people. You say, oh, that doesn't apply to me as a Hebrew Israelite. We are all the same people. And we are cut off as a nation of people. Not only are we devoid of knowledge, but we are devoid of freedom, justice, and protection. Huh? I said we are devoid of freedom, justice, and protection. Devoid, void. We less than void. The earth was without form and void. It was empty. We are devoid. We are less than empty. Because we reject Yahweh, we are devoid of protection and freedom and justice. We lack the guidance of Yahweh through his wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, which results in poverty. Why do we suffer poverty in America? Because we reject Yahweh. Yahweh is wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. We could live a perfect life if we were in the laws of Yahweh, according to Psalms 19:7. Because we reject Yahweh, we're in misery. Even when you come to this building and say, I want to work full time for Yahweh, and you don't mean it, you're in misery. It gets to be a long day here. 5 o'clock in the morning gets to be a real pain. 6 o'clock prayer hurt bad. When you're not in love with Yahweh, when you reject Yahweh. When you pretend to love Yahweh, 6 o'clock prayer is miserable. When we reject Yahweh, we suffer. We suffer the whole time we're around here. Wow, man. In your mind, this is a drag. Well, why are you here suffering like this? Got tired of suffering under that devil. I didn't think I'd have to suffer in Yahweh. You don't suffer in Yahweh at all. All you have to do is accept Yahweh. Let your doings be what Yahweh commands you to do. Serve Yahweh with gladness. Enter into his gates with thanksgiving. Enter into his courts with praise. Just make a joyful noise. You won't have to suffer. You suffer when you reject Yahweh. When you reject Yahweh, you enjoy sickness. See, when you reject Yahweh, you eat junk food. What? There comes food again. Then you be drinking, slipping off and sneaking up on some alcohol. And that's forbidden by Yahweh. He forbids strong drink. Where is it? Proverbs what? 20:1. Read.
Wine is a mocker, strong drink is raging, and whosoever is deceived thereby is not wise.
Okay, dummy? All you dummies? Lovers of wine, you're a dummy.
Shalom Alaikum, family. I hadn't planned on doing much of a discussion tonight. We're just keeping the memorial blowing of trumpets because that's one of the feasts that we're commanded to keep. In Boss chapter 7, we are committed to being obedient to what Yahweh ben Yahweh taught us to do. And our reason being is because Yahweh ben Yahweh is our only salvation. And Yahweh is wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And our family is focusing on materialism or carnality. And that's what they see in Yahweh ben Yahweh. And proof of that is they're focusing on building businesses and physical temples when we're the temple. And materialism is not our salvation. Proof, what good is it to have a temple and you're not keeping the feast that's commanded by Yahweh ben Yahweh? Matter of fact, most of them don't know when to keep the feast. If your focus was on the law, and if our focus is on the law, we want to know when to keep the feast, because the law says we have to keep the feast in the time appointed. And the only way the feast can be kept in the time appointed is if you understand the solar calendar that's taught by Yahweh ben Yahweh. Other than that, your focus is on having a building so that you can charge people to come to the building. Not so you can keep the law, because keeping the law requires you to understand the solar calendar. But we're going to have our Sabbath call tomorrow. And our people are starting to recognize the seventh day and how to keep it correctly. I want to thank you, boss brothers, again for getting the solar calendar out there. Our people are understanding how to keep the solar calendar, and they're recognizing the feast. And it's precept upon precept. We'll soon understand the importance of being in harmony with Yahweh's creation. That's where our blessing comes from. That's where our dominion comes from. That's where our power comes from. The other, or our oppressor, knows this. That's why he's working so hard to keep us from finding out this true seventh day and how to keep the solar calendar. Our oppressor knows this. That's why they changed the calendar in the first place. Cut our people off. So with that, unless someone has something they want to share, our call is not muted. And you're welcome to speak at any time. But other than that, would everyone please stand, face the east, and we're going to close our memorial blowing of trumpet call with prayer.